This is Access Tech Live, a CES special with Scott and Marc Aflalo. The latest in tech and accessibility. Follow us now and get involved at Access Tech Live.
Hey everyone, I am Scott. Welcome to Access Tech Live. With us this week and every week is Marc Aflalo. How are you this week, Marc?
Oh, I'm doing amazing, Stephen. Coming off of yesterday's live show, a special Wednesday edition. We're back with another one, CES in full swing. So many things to talk about. And just like yesterday, Stephen, we're not physically in Las Vegas, but we've got a great team. Special thanks to Tim and David, who are on site manning all the technical stuff so that our guests can come on and join us live. An amazing lineup of guests that are waiting right now for us to introduce you to. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, and listen, you can catch up with that show, of course, over on AMI Plus, and you can check us out on YouTube as well. Just search for Access Tech Live or on social media. We're absolutely everywhere. And of course, like a lot of tech media this week, they're, of course, talking all about the big announcements of robots and self-driving toilets or whatever it is that's going on at CES. And there's lots of cool stuff, for sure. But here on Access Tech Live, we bring disability into focus in all the tech we cover, and that is no different with Access Tech Live this week at CES. And guests like, for example, Melissa Andresco from Lutron, Kevin Frayne from Braun Ability, Will Wang from Leafy Home, and the winner of the Consumer Technology Association, or CTA Foundation's pitch competition, Augmental, will be joining us on this show today.
Yeah, Stephen, you mentioned a self-driving toilet. I haven't seen that, but there are some honorable mentions I wanted to throw out. Companies that will definitely have a chance to speak to over the coming weeks and months, like Oro, a robot designed to keep your dog company at home. It has a ball launcher and has actual emotions and can play with your dog. A company, Palm Plug, which is an accessory for your hand that can be used not only in VR, but also used to help stroke survivors regain motion in their hands. And We Robotics, who have created an ultra-lightweight wearable robot designed to assist those with walking and exercise. So many cool companies that we're definitely going to get a chance to speak with, some not live on the show. And as I said, weeks to come. This is what's fun about CES each and every single year.
And that's what Access Tech Live is all about, shining a spotlight on this. We do it every week here. So if you're just joining us because you happen to stumble upon us because of all the CES coverage, then you know what? Stay with us every single week here at AMI, because that is this is the place where we bring together disability and tech. Nowhere else does it like us, I promise you. Lots to look forward to on this show and future shows, but let's dive right into today's show, Marc, because standing by is Brian Comiskey, the Director of Thematic Programs at the CTA. Brian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Now, you and I spoke at CES Unveiled in Amsterdam. Before we dive into the tech stuff, how was your vacation that followed it with your wife? Did you have a nice time?
It was incredible. To be honest, we've been chatting about maybe in the future that's where we're going to move to. That's how much we loved Amsterdam. So thank you for your recommendations, and thanks for asking.
Hey, listen, that is so funny you say that, because my wife and I had exactly the same conversation. I don't know what it is about Amsterdam that just makes me feel very relaxed. I don't know what it is. Anyway, let's just park that for a second. So the focus of CES Unveiled in Amsterdam was undeniably around AI, but also health and wellness as well. Do you think that these two themes are as prevalent at CES in Vegas?
Oh, I certainly think so. And in fact, a lot of ways they overlap with one another. So when you think about health and wellness technologies, think about how they're converging in many ways, right? It's no longer just treating one condition, like say you're having trouble sleeping, right? It's no longer just treating sleep. It's figuring out maybe you have anxiety behind it, right? And treating both conditions. This is recognition that there's more than just a condition for an individual. It's the full patient profile. It's very humanistic. It's very personalized care. And then AI comes into play with this because artificial intelligence, while a main attraction in a lot of technologies, also underpins almost every industry vertical you can think of, right? It's a horizontal tech that improves the performance. And digital health is one of the best examples of this. We can give an example right now with a company like HealthPlus.ai. They're out of the Netherlands. I think you and I may have talked about them, but they're back here in Vegas. They analyze electronic health records to identify your risk of infection after surgery. The current window is 5 days for most analysis. Their solution can usually get it down to 2 to 3. So that's not just improving performance of doctors, but saving lives.
Brian, over 130,000 people visit CES every year. That's a stat that I'm sure is broken year in, year out. Are we breaking records this year at CES?
That's a really good question. So we actually we have projected that we're expecting about 130,000 attendees this year. And the beauty of what we do is, unlike any other trade show, we audit independently after the show to figure out what our numbers are. And it's based on a single badge swipe. So we'll have the official number in a few weeks, but it's looking pretty good that we're going to hit that. But beyond just the attendees, in the exhibitors category, we're nearing 4,500 exhibitors with 1,400 startups in the Eureka Park area alone.
I think it's incredible the work that goes into CES. I mean, considering the amount of time that you have there and the amount of space that you take up, it's amazing how it all comes together. You know, lots of tech media often talk about CES as kind of losing its touch a little bit. You know, it doesn't have as many of the big players there. A lot of companies like Apple, for example, abandoned CES a number of years ago, go off and do their own events. But I don't know, I tend to think this allows for other companies to actually take the stage and get the limelight that perhaps they wouldn't be able to manage themselves. What's your take on that?
I would tend to agree with you on that front. And here's the thing. Steve Wozniak was actually in town last night attending one of the events, the co-founder of Apple. There are Apple execs, I'm sure, walking around the show floor because the average executive at CES has 29 business meetings a week. It is a B2B event for that reason. A lot of enterprise work gets done. But yeah, I think in a lot of ways, where you've seen some of the larger players, they are able to do their own announcements at times because, you know, they want that dedicated, that have that high profile touch in budget. Think about those 1,400 startups, for example, that they are sharing hotel rooms. They're putting a lot of their budget for the year to go and get that venture capital investment surge, the right partner from other exhibitors. So in many ways, this is the room and the space that CES provides as a platform to give them that voice that they probably couldn't get anywhere else. So I think that's quite special. And I think the beauty is if those larger companies like Apple want to come back and they want to exhibit, we have space for them too. We are here to convene everyone. It's a big tent and it's a lot of fun for that reason.
Now, you're a busy man at CES. I've seen you on so many interviews. You've been hosting interviews, been interviewing people, being the subject of a guest like here on this show. Have you had a chance to walk the floor yourself? It's not a small endeavor, so I can't imagine that's easy.
You know, the running joke is my job when I'm not on camera is to help others on our team create tours and identify the location. So sometimes we used to joke that I'll tell you and I know where everything on the floor is, but I haven't seen it yet. But I have taken a walk around, especially we're standing right now in North Hall, which is where digital health, sustainability, AI innovation, as well as some mobility innovation comes together. And let me tell you, it has been an absolute blast to see smart glasses with hearing technology. So not only are they prescription glasses, but they have hearable open ear technology. That's from EssilorLuxottica. You probably know them for owning Ray-Ban and Oakley, as well as some incredible metaverse solutions from Siemens. And there's one of my favorites is there's an electric motorcycle from an Estonian company called The Verge that goes faster than most Corvettes with a powertrain on the back wheel. So if you feel the need for speed, you can get it, but you can also do it sustainably.
Brian, before we let you go, I want to ask you a quick question, which is, what do you attribute the success of an event like this to? Is it just the numbers of people that attend, where they come from? How do you quantify that?
Yeah, of course. Well, I think it goes in a few paths. I think it goes back to the first point I mentioned, which is a lot of business gets done here, right? Where you get those companies get that surge of investment. That second part really is coming down to the attendees. I think where we're bringing this big tent of digital health, AI, we have gaming, XR. We even have companies like Kubota, Doosan, Bobcat, and John Deere bringing that heavy machinery story. And then we also have one of the best inclusivity tech stories, I think, on the planet with a lot of accessibility, diversity, and equality tech on show display. So that's the second path. And the final is, and maybe this is personally just me, but when I think of CES, I think of things like the World's Fair. I think about Epcot as a kid, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow at Disney. It evokes wonder, I think, for so many people. It's almost, in many ways, I think our pastime as humanity to look to the future in a way, so it's past and future, and it invokes this nostalgia and curiosity for what tomorrow looks like, and I think CES does it better than anyone.
Yeah, I've got to say, Brian, I saw an article in a newspaper here in the UK where it said, is CES really required? And then I did a search in that same site, and they had like 40 different articles all about CES. So I think they answered their own question, which is, Actually, it's very popular. It is actually, I think, doing a fantastic job at highlighting accessibility and putting businesses together with other companies and talking about the discussion around accessibility as well. Brilliant work. Great to have you back on Access Tech Live. Hopefully next time in person, Brian. Brian Comiskey, thank you so much for being back with us.
Thank you so much for having me and looking forward to chatting again. Thank you.
After a quick break, a company who's pioneered the smart home space for over 60 years. Melissa Andresco from Lutron is standing by on the Access Tech Live CES special.
This is Access Tech Live CES Special. Follow us on social media at Access Tech Live. We'll be right back.